Hey everybody, NecroVMX here, and welcome to McJuggernuggets Exposé Part 4. Now, I know that I promised that these videos would come out pretty regular, and it's been a while since Part 3, and I do want to explain myself. For anybody that hasn't been watching the channel, I did have problems with my computer in the past month, and I also had a pretty bad cold at one point that prevented me from recording anything because my voice sounded like shit and I felt like shit. But I'm all better. Computer is currently running, and we're going to dive right in to McJuggernuggets Exposé Part 4. And in the previous video, we left off talking about Psycho Dad Raid's LAN party, and I'm going to continue to talk about that with the next part, so let's go. Which brings me to number 76. Mark's supposedly broken laptop is shown to still be functioning. In LAN Party and Broken Laptops Update, Jesse shows Mark's laptop claiming that it's completely broken and won't start up, despite the fact that after the table flip it was shown to still be powered on. He later shows Korn's laptop, which he says shows some signs of life and might still work, despite being the one that was more obviously broken in the previous video, and that was the one that his dad stomped on. Clearly he just mixed up the names, or he forgot which guy had which laptop, as they are identical. I also question why, even if they were supposedly broken, why would Mark and Korn leave the laptops with Jesse anyway? But we know that it's fake, and these are cheap laptops that Jesse bought for the video. Number 77. Jesse released his first Q&A video entitled, Are the Psycho Videos Real? Q&A number 1. Spoiler alert, he says they're real. But then he promises proof at the end of the video. He states at the very end of the video that the proof of the videos are the videos themselves. Wow. He claims that he also has pictures on Instagram of the destroyed belongings and questions how someone can fake destruction. He never addresses whether or not the videos are scripted, and that Psycho Dad is a character and is doing what is laid down in the script and destroying these items. This is Jesse trying to skate around honesty by claiming the videos can't possibly be fake because you see things getting destroyed in them. But he dodges the fact that they are fake because they are scripted. I mean, fuck. When they made the movie Lethal Weapon, Richard Donner blew up a house. He had an actual house built for the movie and then blew it up because he hated working with miniatures. So, in that sense, in the mind of a juggie, that movie is real because something got destroyed in it. Silly. Just silly. Number 78. In Psycho Dad Grill's Wii U, I just have to point out the sin of convenience of Terry coming out exactly when Jeff puts the Wii U on the grill and lights it on fire. This is despite the fact that Jesse had been screaming his head off for the past few minutes, even as they were going through the house. So obviously she was waiting for her cue to enter, or I should say exit the house, and start yelling at Jeff. Number 79. This video leads to the first time that Jesse gets kicked out of the house in the famous Eagles Landing series, in which he lives in a tent just behind his garage. This is the point in time at which Jesse gained a huge amount of subscribers, hitting 1 million before getting back into the house, and also introducing new characters, most importantly Uncle Larry, who launched his own YouTube channel, which has also been successful, and his brother's channel, which became one of the fastest growing channels on YouTube. Now, you'll notice that every time he gets kicked out, he winds up launching side channels for his other characters. The problem with the entire point of Eagles Landing series is that it's just not believable. Research done by YouTubers even more intrepid than I have actually analyzed Jesse's tweets during this time, especially the crucial few hours right after he was supposedly kicked out of the house. Jesse had nowhere to go, supposedly, and slept in the garage, having only his phone to keep up with social media. But looking at the tweets in TweetDeck reveals that they were posted from the Twitter web client, which means they were not from a mobile app. It has also been tested that using a browser on a phone, such as the iPhone Safari, which is what Jesse would have been using, still triggers the tweets as being from a mobile device, not the web client. So in other words, he had access to a computer. While it's true that after setting up the tent, his mother ran him up supplies, which included a laptop on loan from his brother, these tweets were posted before this could have happened. In a later video, Jesse states the date and time while clearly showing his phone, which says 6:50 p.m. Tuesday, March 31st. And several tweets that went out before this time are shown as being made from a computer, meaning that the entirety of the Kicked Out and Eagles Landing series are entirely staged, just like all of his other videos. He did in fact set up a tent and spent a great deal of time filming in and around it, but most obviously he was able to go into the house. Number 80. In Kicked Out of the House Psycho Update, Jesse claims that he has to live in the garage, as he called Mark, Korn, Buzz, and Juliet, and they all denied him to live with them due to not wanting to get involved. This is despite the fact that he claims to have lived with Buzz for a few days after breaking his dad's television, and later both Juliet and Korn would gladly accept him into their homes to live. So clearly this was bullshit because he wanted to do a survival series. Number 81. I also want to mention that at no point does he mention his Uncle Larry or think about asking Uncle Larry or any other extended family if he could stay with them. Later, they used the excuse that he had not talked to Uncle Larry in a long time and that they weren't close and only became close after bonding when he did stay with him later on. But considering the fact that Larry and Terry work in the same place and that Larry's son Tom had appeared in several videos in the past makes this kind of hard to believe. Number 82. Jesse would have us believe that his Wi-Fi reaches out not only to the garage, but well behind it. He checks on his phone, he holds it up, looks at the completely black screen and says it's perfect and that he has a weak Wi-Fi signal. Da fug. Number 83. In the video Expanding the Alliance, Jesse meets up with some fans who are of course children and their father who treat him to lunch at New Dodge's Market, and then he takes them to see the Eagles Landing site. The issue is that previously Jesse had made great pains to hide where he was by driving his car around back to the dirt road behind his house so he can come and go without going near the parking area in front of his house. So how does he bring these supposed fans to Eagles Landing? Well, as you can see in the video, they are walking up from the house, meaning that he led a complete stranger to his house in their car, had them park in plain view of his house, and walk them up to Eagles Landing while trying to hide the fact that he's camping on the property from his dad. Obvious mistake is obvious. Number 84. The video Donnie Darko Easter Bunny Prank has Jeffrey pranking both Jesse and Juliet, who are camping in the tent, by dressing up as the bunny from Donnie Darko and making creepy noises or whatever. In the beginning of the video, Jeffrey is facing a camera and talking, but who's filming? Whoever it is disappears and is not seen for the rest of the video. I actually brought this up in the comments once and got like 1,004 juggies telling me that the camera was on a tripod. Yet you clearly see it moving. Someone's holding the camera. While you can come up with several theories, the most obvious one is that it's Jesse himself. Number 85. We're also supposed to believe that Jeffrey set up several cameras and strobe lights around the tent without alerting Jesse or Juliet. It's kind of hard to do any stealth with that many dead leaves on the ground. Just saying. Number 86. In Betrayed by a Juggie, Jesse tells about how somebody tried to alert his dad that the Eagles Landing site is on his property, probably to cause drama or kickstart a psycho video, but that the person got the address slightly wrong and it was sent to his neighbor, a 93-year-old lady who is a friend of the family. Jesse commits a federal crime by opening mail addressed to his dad and blatantly admits this on YouTube, basically incriminating himself. So why did he face no consequences for this? Because it's a show. It's for entertainment purposes only. This is besides the fact that this older lady who was supposedly ignorant of the goings-on at the Ridgway household would call Jesse's cell phone rather than calling the house or the father who the letter is addressed to. Another issue? If this letter was real and the address was slightly off, a fan, or judging by the comments, multiple fans, would have sent more letters trying out different numbers on the same street. Number 87. In Jesse Crashes Easter, his family are having Easter dinner outside on the back patio, presumably so he could easily walk out of the woods and do the video. This is the second time the family has had a holiday meal in a strange location for the sake of a video, the last time being Thanksgiving dinner in the basement, and its easily flippable tables. If a casual viewer didn't know any better, you'd think these assholes don't own a dining room or a table in it. Number 88. Also, the setup of the family is strange. We have 2 picnic tables, one with Jesse's parents and the other with random people that we've never seen before and will probably never seen again. No Uncle Larry, no Aunt Jackie, no Aunt Melissa or Uncle George, no Tom, just some grandparents who look like a completely different set of people from the Thanksgiving video, and then we have a random old man who is not sitting at any of the available seats at the tables and is just in a chair eating food out of a styrofoam container in his lap. Also, this is a person that we've never seen before and will never see again. The issue with this guy? Well, the funny part is that he continues eating, never stopping, completely oblivious to the drama and the yelling going on around him. This is pretty amusing, and it is even pointed out by Jeffrey. The old man just continues to slowly and continually eat while everyone else is shouting. Too bad that this is literally a joke from South Park that has been used numerous times, as the Marsh household would have a breakdown of drama during dinner, and Grandpa Marsh just continues to eat the entire time. No wonder they had him sitting separately from everyone else, even though there were open seats at the tables. It was a good angle for Jeffrey to film. Number 89. So Jesse goes into the house and comes out like a few seconds later with a perfectly made plate of food. He later claims he was madly piling food onto the plate, but the plate is a little too neat to believe that. It was clearly just sitting there waiting for him to pick it up. Number 90. Last thing about the Easter setup, Uncle Larry is not present, though at the table where Jeff and Terry are sitting, you can see 4 empty Corona bottles, his brand of beer, while Jeff is having his usual Miller Lite and Terry is drinking wine. Why have him not in the video? Because he was clearly eating with them. Well, it's because they were planning on having Jesse live there and reveal him as a new character later on. Number 91. The next video was actually removed from the McJuggernuggets channel, but was saved and re-uploaded by others. It is called My Diabolical Plan, in which Jesse outlines his plan to sneak into his house, steal his dad's credit card, and buy a television and an Xbox for his tent. In the next video, he claims that he would be enacting this plan that night right after stopping recording, and then releasing it the next day. However, after removing the video, he puts up another video, A Better Diabolical Plan, stating that he did indeed steal the credit card and even filmed the excursion, but then wound up feeling badly about it and putting the card back. A more likely story, he saw the huge negative reception the original video had, and he decided to change his mind. An even better theory, however, the Eagles Landing series at this point was hugely popular, and Jesse was gaining more subscribers at a much faster rate. It may have been his original plan to steal the credit card, which would cause his dad to go ballistic and flatten the tent, ending the Eagles Landing series. However, he decided to milk it longer, as it was doing incredibly well. Either way, fake as hell. Number 92. In The Break-In, Jesse breaks into his house to retrieve Skyrim on the Xbox 360. No, really. Despite the fact that his mother and his brother have both said that they will bring his stuff up to the tent if he texts them, he goes through a whole stupid Metal Gear McJuggernuggets video, including laughably live tweeting while trying to break in to get a video game. Why go through this? Well, aside from making a more exciting video, it's also to advance the plot, of course. If he had just asked his mom to get his game, that would be boring. But this leads to Jeffrey confronting him in the basement, the two getting into an argument, and his dad breaking his microphone from his room in the video The Warning Shot. Number 93. In the supply run, Jesse goes shopping with his own credit card and buys an Xbox 360 and a small television. Why would he buy a console when he has one in the house and has already claimed to be willing to sneak into the house is beyond me. What's nuttier is that he supposedly snuck in late at night to steal the credit card, and the next video would also sneak in at night to get his Skyrim game, but why would he sneak in at night and risk waking his dad up rather than just going in when his parents are at work during the day? Well, to make these exciting videos full of suspense and faux rebellious post-teen angst, of course. Number 94. We also get a quick look at Jesse's game stash. He says, "My dad didn't destroy them all." We can see the game Crackdown, which is one of the games that Jesse claims his dad destroyed in a previous video. While he could simply have replaced the game, why would he if every time he got a new Xbox his dad broke it? Remember, his dad threw one in the pool, and then threw another through a car, and then even destroyed his Xbox One, and then he was kicked out of the house. If Jesse went through the trouble of replacing Crackdown, I find it a little hard to believe that he would then stash it in the basement instead of having it where he could actually play it. In reality, what we're seeing is probably Jesse's actual Xbox 360 game collection, and what was shredded by his dad was a mishmash of cheap games that he bought, doubles, empty cases, and for all we know, cheap CDRs for the discs. Number 95. Another thing about this video is that Jeffrey magically appears just as Jesse was about to leave. While you could say that Jeffrey heard him skulking around in the basement, ask yourself why Jesse, who was trying to get in and out quickly and quietly, would waste his time idiotically live tweeting on his phone. Well, how else would Jeffrey know the exact moment to come down into the basement and confront him? Number 96. Psycho Dad flattens gaming layer makes very little sense unless you already know that it's a scripted series. In the previous video, Flight of the Eagles, Jesse plugs his extension cord back into the garage outlet after being forbidden to do so by his dad. Now his dad comes up to the Eagles landing site with a backhoe and demolishes it. Entertaining stuff, but why is it being filmed by Jeffrey and not Jesse, with two different angles no less, one with the camcorder that he forcibly removes from Jesse at the start of the video? Either whatever came before that isn't shown, or Jeffrey just happened to hit record while in the middle of a struggle to grab the camera, and one set up on a tripod. Well, it's obvious from this setup that Jeffrey knew that his dad was going to destroy the tent, but then why act shocked when he sees the backhoe and the tent getting destroyed? Number 97. I guess now we have another reason why Jesse would buy a brand new Xbox instead of going into the house and getting his, so it could be destroyed. Though it seems to escape relatively unscathed, so Jesse has to throw it at a tree himself just to make sure. Number 98. Note that ending the very popular Eagles Landing series serves three purposes. For one, Jeffrey winds up making his own channel, basically launching a third McJuggernuggets channel. Before anyone asks, his stupid gaming channel is the second one. The second purpose would be to promote his girlfriend's channel by going to live with her for a few days, and then finally to introduce Uncle Larry as a major character who would eventually make his own channel to much success. Every time Jesse has something very popular going on, usually revolved with him getting kicked out of the house, he uses it to launch other channels and content to much success. This isn't random luck, this is calculated marketing strategies. Not to mention the fact that the Big Brother channel gives Jesse's haters a place to congregate while still unknowingly supporting him. Number 99. One last thing about this, it seems odd that Jesse, who acts upset that his brother filmed him with two separate angles and makes his own channel by telling him, "You're not going to get any subscribers, fucker," puts a link to Jeffrey's first major video, The Alternate Angle, right in the description of this video. If you hate the guy so much, and you don't want him to have a YouTube of his own, and you don't want him to film you and humiliate you, why would you promote the video, which is the same exact footage as this one, just from a different angle? You guys see what I'm talking about? It's all about building an empire and expanding. Jesse's video has, as of me writing this, almost 5.5 million views, and Jeffrey's angle has just shy of 800,000. That's 800,000 views of the same exact footage, just from a different angle. Talk about double dipping. Number 100. In the fall of Eagles Landing, Jesse announces that he's going to stay at his friend Zach's house for a while. This won't last long, but it's an interesting thing that even he says his friend reached out to him on Twitter and said that he could stay there without Jesse having to ask him. When in a previous video he said that Zach, Korn, Mark, Buzz, and Juliet all said he couldn't stay with them. Later in the video we find out that not only is Zach perfectly fine with Jesse staying at his house, but his parents are also fine with it. It's very, very contradictory, but of course Jesse wanted to do a survival series of videos. Yes, survival is in quotes. Anyway, that is 100 reasons. I met my goal a lot sooner than I anticipated, but there's so much more. So we're going to keep going, but that is going to happen in the next few parts. See you then.